Today I am going to explain animal tissues. You know that tissues are the group of the cells which work together and perform a common function. So we have lots of tissues. Again, they join together and make the tissue systems, then organ systems and organisms. Here is a diagram where we can find out that a very simple organ like a stomach, it consists of a number of tissues. You can read here lots of names. We have to discuss all these tissues one by one. Like there are nervous tissue, there is epithelial tissue, there is muscular tissue, there is connective tissue. So we will study all these different types of tissues in animals. First we start with the epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue, it is a protective tissue. The cells make a continuous layer of the cells, continuous layer, and it make the organ system separate from the other environment. The cells are flat and they have no intercellular space in between. If we talk about their types of the cells, then we can study in different headings. Simple epithelium, cuboidal, columnar or stratified. We will discuss all these kind of epithelial tissue one by one. Here with the help of this diagram we have simple epithelial tissue. You can observe that in each and every case of epithelial tissue, the cells are separated from the other tissue with the help of non-cellular basement membrane. Okay, the cells in case of simple epithelial tissue, they are flat cells like tiles on the floor. Okay, so this is the simple epithelial tissue. If we talk about the stratified, in that case above the basement membrane there are more than one layer of cells present. Simple epithelial tissue makes the lining of our buccal cavity and lots of blood vessels, etc. Where they play very important role in the exchange of material, like in case of lining of blood vessels, in the lining of alveoli, simple epithelium tissue is present. So they play important role in the exchange of gases, secretion, etc. Stratified epithelium, it is present in skin. It is multi-layered, so it protects from the wearing and tearing of the skin. It is waterproof in nature. Now according to the this was simple and stratified on the basis of number of layers of the cells. If we go to the shape of the cell, then it can be classified in simple squamous epithelium. As I told, it is present in the blood vessels, lining of blood vessels, lungs, alveoli. Okay, next come is the cuboidal. If the shape of the cells is cubical, then it is called cuboidal epithelium. It makes the lining of kidney tubules, ducts of salivary glands, and it also make the lining of germinal epithelium of the gonads. Okay, it also provide the mechanical support. Here kidney tubules, then we talking about the salivary glands, so they are doing a lots of work like secretion, excretion, etc. So it's play very important role in animals. Next come to the columnar cell. The cells are tall, pillar-like, having elongated nucleus. You can observe in the diagram. They are found in the inner lining of intestine, and intestine here it work for the absorption and secretion of enzymes, absorption of nutrients and secretion of enzymes. It also sometimes in some places columnar epithelium may be associated with hair like projections, okay, that are called cilia, and in that case it is also known as ciliated columnar epithelium. And this cilia has the ability of movement, and their movement pushes substances like mucus forward. So it is present in the tract where some substances has to move forward. For example, it is found in the respiratory tract. As you can find out that if someone have the cough, then it comes outside. So it is only possible because there is ciliated columnar epithelium which pushes mucus forward. also lines oviducts, sperm ducts, kidney tubules, etc. So this is the position where you can find out these epithelial tissue and specific role played by these tissue. Sometimes these epithelium tissue folded become folded and it secrete the substances. At that time it is called glandular epithelium. So epithelial tissue, it is protective in nature. Okay, it is making a covering in the animal body, and by their specific location it is working like exchange of gases in alveoli, exchange of substances in blood vessels. If we talk about the columnar epithelium, then in intestine it is working as a secretion, it is working for the absorption of nutrient. If we talk about ciliated epithelium, then it is helping to push forward the substances like mucus. So all these things, all this work performed by the epithelial tissue. Glandular epithelium produce a number of substance and release them. So this is about the epithelial tissue of animals. Next tissue. Next is connective tissue. As the name indicates, this tissue is specialized to connect various body organs with each other. For example, blood, it is moving inside the blood vessels and connect one part to other in a number of way. It brings the oxygen from the lungs and it connect that way that it provide oxygen to each and every cell. Again, the bone, cartilage, ligament, tendon, areolar connective tissue and adipose tissue, they are helpful to connect the different parts of the body, and one by one we will take them. This is a diagram to show the various location of different types of connective tissue. First we will start from the blood. If we talk about some general feature of connective tissue, they have the matrix and the cells and fibers in that matrix. So depend on the percentage of elements in the matrix, it may be fluid like, it may be jelly like, or it may be a solid substance. Now first come to the blood. In case of blood, the matrix is very liquid fluid type, that is called plasma, and it has a number of blood cells. Blood cells, red blood cells, it is red in color due to the presence of pigment hemoglobin and help in the transportation of oxygen. White blood cells, a number of white blood cells are present there, that is basophil, neutrophil, eosinophils, monocytes and lymphocytes. Their main function is to remove the foreign particles to kill the pathogens. Third type of cells are platelets. They are also called thrombocytes and they help in the blood clotting at the time of injury to minimize the blood loss. So they are performing a lots of function. They are distributing the nutrient and hormones. They also collect the waste product from each and every cell and bring it up to the removal point. Next connective tissue is bone. In case of bone, the matrix is made up of protein and it is rich in salts of calcium and phosphates. That's why it is very solid. It has a number of cells, the cells, bone cells, which make the bone, and that is osteocytes, and they help the construction of a structure of bone. It is very strong, non-flexible structure, and it provide the site for the attachment of different muscles and organs. So it is a connective tissue. Next is cartilage. In case of cartilage, the matrix, it is made up of protein and sugar, and it is solid but not as less than the bone. Okay, bone become more solid than the cartilage because of the deposition of salts of calcium and phosphate. In case of cartilage, the cells are present far apart from each other, that are called chondrocytes, which make the cartilage. Cartilages, they are present at the joints at the bone surfaces, and it is also present in nose, ear, trachea and larynx. Even we can fold the cartilage of the ear, but we cannot bend the bone because they are very hard in texture. Next come to the next connective tissue, that is ligament. As you can observe here, the ligament, it is joining one bone to another. Okay, so it should be very strong and very flexible for the movement of bones. So it's a specific feature that it connects one bone to other. It is very elastic and has very considerable strength. Okay, so this is the function. If we go for the overstretching of these ligaments, it will leads to sprain. You heard about कि sprain हो गया, पैर मुड़ा, so sprain हो गया. क्यों वो sprain हुआ? The ligaments joining that two particular bones get stressed more than its strength, then it create the sprain. Next is tendon. Tendon are very strong, inelastic structures which join skeletal muscles to the bone. You can observe here that these are the muscles and they are joined with the help of tendon to the bones. So they must be very strong and inelastic in nature. They are composed of white fibrous tissue which provide it great strength. Next tissue, that is areolar connective tissue. It is a supportive and packing tissue between the organs lying in the body cavity. It is present between the skin and muscles, it is present between the blood capillaries, it is present between the organ and nervous system. So wherever is the space, it is occupied by the areolar connective tissue. It contains macrophages, it contains mast cells, it has lots of fibers, and it is loosely arranged in that empty space between the organ or other tissues to fill that gap. Next connective tissue is adipose connective tissue. It serves as a fat reservoir and keep visceral organs in position. It also acts as an insulator due to storage of fats, and it is located below the skin in between the internal organs. All these are the various types of connective tissues. Next come to the next tissue, that is muscular tissue. It consists of the elongated cells called muscle fibers, and this tissue is responsible for the movement in our body. We have three different types of muscular tissue in any organism. First, you can observe here, that is the cardiac muscles, that is only present in the heart of the organism. These tissues, if we talk about the muscle cells in cardiac muscles, then they have light and dark striations. They are branched, they are uninucleate, only present in the heart, and they perform rhythmic contraction and relaxation throughout the life without tired. Okay, so they are very specific and they never tire. It starts since birth or even from the very first sign of the life in that is in embryo. It start the rhythmic contraction during the embryonic condition and last till death. So cardiac muscles having the striations and present only in heart of the organism. Second type is skeletal muscles. Skeletal muscles, these are muscles that are present in our limbs and help in the movement and locomotion. If we talk about the muscle cells, then they are cylindrical, they are unbranched and multinucleated. They also have light and dark bands. That's why it is called striated muscles. These muscles are attached to the uh, bones. That's why it is called skeletal muscles. The contraction and relaxation of these muscles can be done by our own will. It can be controlled by our conscious. That's why it is called voluntary muscles. Now, the next type of muscles are smooth muscles that are present in our visceral organs, like it is present in the alimentary canal, all the organs of alimentary canal, and everywhere. Okay, so these muscles, if we talk about the muscle cells, then you can observe they have tapering end, that is the shape you can observe is spindle shape. They do not have any light and dark band. That's why also called non-striated muscles. They are uninucleated. They cannot be controlled by our will. That's why they are called involuntary muscles. They are present in visceral organs and not attached to any skeletal system. That's why they are called smooth muscles. So these muscles, their contraction and relaxation create the movement of food in the alimentary canal. Then in the blood, we have these muscles in our iris of the eyes. They are these muscles present in uterus and in the bronchi of our respiratory system. So very helpful to perform the function of various visceral organs. Next animal tissue is nervous tissue. Nervous tissue, it receives stimulus and transmit it from one part of the tissue to the other. And the nervous tissue, it has brain, spinal cord and nerves. All these are made up of the structural and functional unit that is called nerve cell or neuron. Here is a diagram of neuron. It consists cell body which has a prominent nucleus and cytoplasm. Then you can observe short and very branched structure arising from the cell body that are called dendrites. This collect the stimulus from the sense organs and then forward it towards the cell body. Then cell body forward this impulse towards the next part, that is axon. It is a long fiber, unbranched fiber, and its terminals has the nerve ending which make the contact to the next neuron or nerve cell. In this way, it transmits the impulse from one place to another, and coordination between nervous system and muscular system is very helpful to perform the all body functions of an organism. This is all about the animal tissues. Thank you.